And we're live. Welcome, friends. Happy Sunday. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Marco, it is great to see you, old friend. How are you? I hope you're doing well, Marco. Sadie's here. Sadie is here to say hello. Say hello to Marco. Regrettably, Sadie is asleep. She's sleeping on the job, as always. Happy Super Bowl, everyone. It's Super Bowl Sunday here in the States.
You okay, miss?
They came 3 days ago, and my husband,
Miss, you are safe now.
And we're doing the... Technically, we're doing the Sadie cutscene commentary. But really, we're just gonna relax and have fun. And just have a little Sunday chat with you guys. Top Hat Plays says, hello. Greetings, Top Hat. Good to see you again, friend. Happy Sunday.
We'll keep you safe until you figure out what you want to do.
Got my green tea,
What's your name,
and we are ready. There are about an hour's worth of cutscenes for Sadie,
Sadie Adler,
and we'll go through them.
Mrs.
So we'll be up for about an hour or so. Just hang out,
My husband.
talk to the Europeans and the Asians, or those in Asia, rather. Marco, how are you? I hope you are doing better. I hope you are in good health. I appreciate all your comments. I appreciate you watching the live streams after, post-live with Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, you are a valuable member of the channel, and we are, I'm glad we finally got to talk. Glad you caught a live stream. If this is a good time for you, we can start doing Sunday 10 a.m. PST live streams,
Well, it is what it is.
if that works for you.
Some supplies, some blankets, a little bit of
Let me
food,
know.
and this poor soul,
We are
Mrs.
we are,
Adler.
we are in the
Miss
middle
Tilly, Miss
of a
Karen, would you warm her
100-day
up?
march. And what
You
I
want a
mean
drink
by
or
a
something?
100-day march
And Mrs.
is we
Adler,
are releasing a
okay.
video
You're safe now.
every day,
They turned
all
her
day,
into
every
a
day
widow.
for the next 100 days. We are on day 10.
I need some rest.
So that's a lot of
I've
live
slept for
streams
3
and
days.
miscellaneous videos and shorts. At any rate, we're on day 10. Marco says, waiting for my 1.0 Ultimate version disc to arrive, as I want to be now in Chapter 2, but with old glitches. And also, Smiley Emoticon, you're so welcome, my friend. I feel bad not to be able to be on the lives. And he continues, this is an awesome time for me, friendo. Okay, let's do it. Let's make this a thing, at least for the next 100 days.
Well, ain't cooking work?
That works. Works for me.
My husband and I, we shared the work.
Interestingly, there's no cutscenes from Chapter 2
I can hunt,
for Sadie,
carry a knife, or
because
use a
she's
gun.
moping around,
Tell you,
feeling sorry for herself, missing Jake. I'm being sarcastic. She bounces back a lot faster than I would have, losing your home and your loved ones and your complete way of life, and then having to rebuild and start over.
But we do more than just hunting.
Marco says, thanks, friendo. That's so kind of you. How are you today? I'm excellent.
I ain't afraid of dying.
Well, I've got a little bit of an endorphin pump right now because I just finished my workout.
Need anything, Mr. Pearson? Maybe me and Mrs. Adler gonna take
And I'm
a
hungry.
ride. Yeah,
But
here's my
excellent
list.
nonetheless.
Can you post this letter for me while you're there? Sure. Come on, princess. Are you coming with me then, woman?
Don't technically like Arthur's hair that long. I think it'll be a little shorter than that for the Bad Honor free roam, but I do like his hair length being closer to mine, just below the neck or the ear line.
Not quite.
Well, I'd like to say I missed your refined conversation.
But for Bad Honor, he's going to be
I
slightly
enjoyed
shorter
myself
than
out
that.
there.
Maybe
Yes,
one level shorter.
Mrs. Adler did okay. That's shopping? Yes, that's shopping.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
Marco says, "Good to hear. I honestly feel really lazy today. Well, it's Sunday. Well, it's Monday for you, I suppose. Traveling to Greece on Thursday, so lots of packing to do now." You do a lot of traveling, Marco.
We got this.
You are a gypsy, a nomad.
Okay, Miss High and Mighty. And nice pants, by the way.
Oh, shut up.
How you doing, Mrs. Adler?
Moving on to Chapter 3. Interestingly enough, there are most of Sadie's cutscenes come during the epilogue.
And now you and Dutch have joined high society.
Pound for pound, I would say she has more interaction with
Seems so.
John than she does with Arthur.
Well, I just saw Bill Williamson at a party at the San Denise's mayor's house.
Haven't really mapped it out in terms of
You get any leaks?
time or quantifiable,
You know
but
so, Arthur Morgan.
it seems to
Come
be
on,
that way.
We need to talk. Miss Adler, will you excuse us?
When you gonna let me
Also,
come
I think it's significant that
My lord,
Sadie
you're more
is
like
in the
her.
first
You take
mission
over the whole world.
and the last mission, American Venom.
Perhaps.
Okay, take the other side.
Get back from Guarma, jump into the action. Sadie is in her final form, at least for until the epilogue. I really love that teal bandana. Marco says, haha, yeah, Greece is around 90 minutes away from Serbia, so it's not that bad. Yes, everything is closer in Europe.
You saved us, Arthur. Oh, man. Bill and Sadie. You okay, son? Sure. We ain't been back for more than a few days. What do we do, Dutch? Clearly, we need to leave. It'll take them some time to regroup.
Dutch is back,
Mr.
dumb
Pearson,
Micah.
Miss Grimshaw, start packing up. Javier, you and Bill, get out of here. Go scare off any scum still loitering about. We need a couple of days. Now, please, gentlemen. Sorry. What next, Dutch?
Left this part in because Sadie's in the background. She's milling around.
We'll be in the ocean, so we're gonna have to
Not exactly part of the decision-making process, and probably, since her and Charles were in charge of the gang, or keeping it together, while everyone else was in Guarma, probably a little disappointed that she's not involved, more involved, now that the men are back.
Dutch!
Not now, Miss. Not now.
I'm begging you to. They're gonna hang me. Break the boy's heart. Please, do something.
Abigail needs help with John again, but now Arthur has Sadie.
Okay, I'm gonna go figure out how we rescue this bastard.
And also Abigail,
You made Doyle's
or rather Sadie, feels an obligation towards Abigail because Abigail really helped Sadie in Chapter 2 in terms of comforting her and helping her get over the death of Jake. Even though Sadie never really fully gets over the death of her husband, it turns her,
coming in?
it hardens her.
Guess they know now we ain't in the city.
Who, Mr. Milton's friends?
Yeah, they've had patrol.
Spins her
on him
life in a
since he
completely different
disappeared.
direction.
Well, at least you're alive.
For now, yeah.
What happened in?
Guama?
Yeah.
Nothing nice.
Poor Arthur is
What happened to Dutch?
not
He
looking
seems-
good.
Seems as what began
Sadie,
happening in
however, is
Blackwater
coming
began
into her
happening
own.
years ago, maybe. Slow decline, I guess.
What do you mean?
I ain't quite sure. What happened here?
I started gathering people up as best
Marco
I could
says, I
until was
honestly
dead.
feel the urge to play version 1.0 as I saw the comparison and they really made downgrades. on newer versions for the online sake. For the
It's my
online
friend
sake.
I told you about, Mr. Morgan.
Ah, yes, Arturo Bullet. At your service, sir. At your service.
Arthur Moore.
Marco says, yeah, that chapter 6 was really depressing. Yeah, I stay away from chapter 6. I have no interest in going back there ever again.
You ever flown before, sir? It's quite a thing. Quite a thing.
Yeah, I love version 1. I have a version 1 playthrough that we use all the time.
Hop in.
Well, ain't she coming?
Well, women can't fly, sir. Are you insane?
But I believe Rockstar
Oh, no, sir.
sees
Does
this
terrible damage to the
game,
engine there. They-
sees story mode
Everyone knew about that.
merely
One
as a
elegant
portal
fellow like
for
Mrs.
online,
Adler.
as a funnel
Heavens
or a
above.
catalog.
Or below.
It's like you're having fun in story mode. Look how much more fun you would have online.
Are you sure about this?
Certain, sir. Quite certain.
It's a
Mrs.
business model
Let
that
us
worked
away.
perfectly
Wish
with
us
Grand
luck.
Theft Auto, but
Crash twice.
I don't think it,
Pull on that
for me
rope.
personally, it works at all for Red Dead Redemption. And Arthur and Mrs. Adler have a romantic hot air balloon ride. It doesn't last that long.
I think we're gonna crash.
One of my favorite cutscenes.
Haven't seen the obvious, Arthur.
Hold on.
Miles Powell says, how's it going, Super Antonio? Greetings, Miles. Happy Sunday. It's going quite well. Appreciate you being here, friend.
Did you break your neck?
Marco says, agree, friendo. I now plan to stay in Chapter 2, version 1.0 for a long time. I just want to enjoy with Arthur and never finish the game. That is the mission statement of this channel, Marco. Just hang out in story mode. Don't go beyond Chapter 4. And just keep reliving these happy memories. Christian says, hello, Super Antonio. Hope your day has been going well. It's been going quite well.
She ain't coming with us to collect her husband.
Appreciate you being here, friend. Miles says, happy Sunday.
Hurt him.
Happy Sunday to you, Super Bowl Sunday.
Then it'll be quicker and easier with just the two of us. Plus, John will be calmer without worrying about you. Ain't complicated.
Well, why ain't the crime
We are
store
supporting the 49ers
grateful?
We know
for
you are. We'll
whatever
bring it
that
back to
means.
ya.
One of the channel mods, David, is a big 49ers fan.
Thank you
So
both.
I decided that we would support the 49ers for this channel.
You.
Marco says, LOL, we get each other, friendo. Hey, Miles. Hey, Christian.
He ain't
Glad you're here.
working today. Put
And
the
Marco
gun
says, awesome,
down.
Miles. I'm now planning to do the same. Miles says, I've actually been playing 1.0 for a few years now.
Now.
I have an entirely separate PS4. I have two PS4s, and one is completely offline and dedicated to my my version 1 playthroughs.
Jameson! Is Jameson in? He's in Saint Denis. They got Milliken. Got him and gonna
That way I
kill
don't have to
him.
worry.
Unless you bring me John Marston.
Miles says, oh yeah, I actually forgot about the Super Bowl.
I'm counting. 1, 2, 3.
Top Hat Plays says, my grandma supports the 49ers, so I'm supporting them too. Yes, that's exactly the logic I have. I don't follow football. I don't follow any sports, I don't think. I watch the Olympics. I like the Olympics. But that's more about human development and the best humanity has to offer than following a specific team.
For nothing.
Well, Team USA, of course.
Don't stop counting.
Marco says,
Hurry up and bring that
Miles
in here, you
says
bastards. Come
to Marco, it's definitely my favorite way to play the game. Highly recommended. And Marco says, I was flabbergasted when I saw graphics comparison between the new version and 1.0. It's like a new game. And Marco continues, got it, Miles. I will start playing 1.0 this week.
once and for all. Okay, today's your lucky day. Let's go. You always seem to need rescuing, Marston. Nice to see you, Arthur. There's some fellas
John
down here
needs
don't look
rescuing a
friendly.
lot.
Let's get out of here.
Come on, boys, let's move. I'll row. You shoot.
Tomorrow we continue with Marston Mondays in Red Dead 1.
You
the Red Dead 1 playthrough. I believe we're about halfway through. We're in Mexico, at least, going after Bill and Javier. Marco says Arthur's winter coat closed, Saint-Denis horse glitch, money glitch, plus I can play with all the horses, even gang ones. It's a perfect Chapter 2 save. Well done, Marco. You'll be all set.
Hey, Arthur. Thank you. Don't mention it.
We've got Buell.
Yes, not.
Christian says, Superantonio, do you know when Arthur gets kidnapped, you can keep his union suit if you have a trapper outfit stored on your horse, and a custom outfit as well. I have. It looks okay on Arthur. I did not know that. And I don't know if I would keep it, because it's not dignified. It's a little undignified for this channel.
Told you we would.
Arthur in his union suit, but more power to you. Miles Powell says, fun fact, if you go out of bounds in Red Dead Redemption 2 and go to Nuevo Paraíso, you can hear the ambient music from the first game. Yeah, I did know that. Marco says, you inspired me, friendo, to try it, and now I am convinced. Top Hat continues, I honestly wished it could have snowed again. In one of the chapters, it would be cool to explore the snowy map. That's another way. That's another way they get you online.
Mrs. Adler?
Look, it snows during the holidays.
You okay?
But you know what that means? It means the game files, the snow files, are on your console.
Still working?
I bet there's a way to access that with a mod.
Goddamn place full of people.
It's beyond my technical capabilities, but I'm sure someone could do it.
I know. I need someone to
Sadie practicing her knife throwing skills.
finish off them O'Driscolls. I hear the last
And I want to
one
mention,
is full
I've
of hanging dog
mentioned
raiders.
this before. If you agree to go with her, technically, you can spend the night with Sadie. You can spend the night with Mrs. Adler. They camp together, and who knows what happens over the campfire
You're the only one of these fools
when both
I
of them
trust.
think they may die the next morning. It's quite romantic. So you always have to go with Sadie if you want to
Abigail?
take that relationship to the next level.
John, make sure they make it. I mean, this whole thing is pretty much done. But when the time comes...
Or how do you mean?
Marco says, "Oh, that's interesting. Never thought of that." Yeah,
You mean?
yeah. It's
Help them escape when
it's one of the highlights of Chapter 6 for me personally.
you and me, we're more ghosts than people. Them, they could...
I know. Of course I will. Thank you, Arthur.
That little
Want to ride with me now, or
that little
meet me up at Hanging
touch
Dog
on the
Ranch when you
shoulder. It's always nice. Hortus
Thanks, Arthur.
has joined the chat and says, "Hey there, folks."
Come on.
Marco says, "I think Sadie would spend the night talking about how would she do with the fat O'Driscoll." Smiley emoticon. Yeah, she is infused with vengeance and hate, like the bride from Kill Bill. Greetings, Hortus. I had something to tell you. It completely slipped my mind. But I'm glad you're here. Happy Sunday. Arthur dreams of the Good Honor Buck. Miles says, "Hi, mister." See, he wakes up next to Sadie. Sadie's ready to go. She's waiting for him.
Morning for killing.
Hey,
You seen anything down there?
yeah, I think there's a bunch of them down there. I'm mostly drunk.
She's got a shotgun and two cattlemen.
That fella with a beard, He's mine.
No bandolier.
Okay.
And the knife, of course. Ortiz says, "What's up?" This is a sad scene. It's very poignant. It's closure. It's very emotional for Mrs. Adler, and she has one of her confession to Arthur that apart from Jake, you're the finest man I've ever known. I like it. I love that scene.
Yeah.
And then Arthur kind of makes a joke about it because
He was a
he's
good
not
man,
good with emotions, but that's what you would expect from Arthur. Marco says, "I'm convinced that if Sadie, Kieran, Charles, Sean, Jose, and Lenny stayed with Arthur, the ending would have been completely different." I am convinced also, Marco.
I miss him every day.
Hortus says, "And a Molotov." Top Hat
They
says,
turned me
"I also
into a
thought about that,
monster,
Marco."
Arthur.
Christian asks Super Antonio, "Does Arthur look better with long hair or short hair?" I prefer him with short hair, personally, because it's more period correct. There weren't that many long-haired
Aside
gentlemen
from
in
Jake,
1899
You're the best
that
man
weren't
I've
Native
known.
American.
I know the company you keep. The competition ain't too fierce.
But that's me. You play Arthur the way you want to play Arthur.
We should get away from her.
And Mrs. Adler really needs a deluxe bath right now.
I think I need to be alone for a bit.
But she'll probably just head over to Little Creek River and just have a little
Get
splash.
yourself cleaned up.
Miles says, "Or John." Are you talking about John's hair length? I prefer him also short hair. Marco says, "I prefer him with short hair as I love Clint Eastwood, who looks a lot like him." Yeah, I do believe his look was inspired by Clint Eastwood.
Damn years.
Come on, Arthur. Let's go get her. You and me is all we need.
A classic,
Miss Tilly. Here,
iconic look.
you take this money too.
John Wayne, post-World War II, Truth, Justice, and the American Way.
Thank you, Arthur.
He's a classic. He's an icon in his own right, but
Live a good life now.
Clint Eastwood was cool.
I'll miss.
Too, sweetheart.
Miles says, "Yes, I meant as in the Native Americans and John. They have long hair in the period."
Go get your mom.
Yes, they do. Also, like Buffalo Bill and Kit Carson had long hair. So it was not uncommon, but I prefer short hair on Arthur. Marco says the developers said they made John using the Clint Eastwood character. Interesting.
How you feeling?
Oscar Wilde had long hair. He wasn't
I
a
think you should
a
call me and I'll
cowboy.
go in there and get her.
He was a dandy, but it's at the same time period.
That ain't what you mean. I can still fight.
I know, Arthur.
So yeah, it existed, but I
Do
prefer
it
short
that
hair.
way, honey. It's for the best. Get up someplace high, like the lighthouse or something. And cover me. Please.
Okay.
I hate the limited field of vision you get with a scope. Super annoying.
Ladies. Hey, I'm fine. Hold up a minute.
And Arthur will always lose his hat, whatever hat you're wearing, because he has to put on his original gunslinger hat.
What happened to John? Where's John?
I don't.
Marco says, "I love this scene as Sadie clearly cares for Arthur and tells him, 'I know you are sick and I want to protect you.'"
I killed her.
Yeah, but she allows him to pretend. She said, "But you're the better shot." She allows him his dignity.
Listen,
Also, I think it was important for Sadie to go for Abigail because she promised Abigail, and she feels a kinship
John,
and a debt to Abigail.
he loved you. He
loved you, and Jack, he did. He wasn't perfect, but he did.
You gotta go get that boy. Come on, get out of here.
Arthur, what are you doing?
I gotta go have a little chat before I get much...
Marco says, ha, exactly. Their chemistry is amazing. Yeah,
Neither of you two. Not now.
Arthur and Mrs. Adler.
You both know.
Christian asks, Super Antonio, do you think it suited Arthur being rude and not caring about anyone? Like in the mission, A Strange Act of Kindness.
You go get that boy. There'll be time for
I think
sorrow
that mission and many of the cutscenes with Arthur exist at a medium level because the devs didn't know whether you're playing good honor or bad honor. So you get a medium honor with almost all the cutscenes.
Leave me alone.
So yeah, it kind of suits Arthur. And you can see Sadie in her final form here, bounty hunter form, completely hardened, very capable,
Marston.
very confident,
Good to see you.
I thought I heard
a million miles away from
Jim Milton.
who she
That
was
you?
as the rancher's wife in Coulter.
Real good job of hiding my identity.
Top Hat Plays is just like the video. Don't forget to like, y'all. Appreciate you, friend. I don't do that enough. Like and subscribe for daily Red Dead Redemption 2 content. Yeah,
She's fine.
I can't do that.
was always so kind to me.
It's just not me. I should do it. I honestly should.
Blackwater. I'm kind of a farmer.
Hortus says, I think the longer hair look is appropriate when embracing the outlaw life, as there'd be less pressure to conform to social norms. That is exactly what I'm thinking, Hort, with the Bad Honor playthrough. That's why I want Arthur's hair a little longer, never going to use pomade, a little scragglier, and I will have him in the Union suit with a vest because it's more rude. It was rude to show your,
Got on the run
you know, to walk around in your underwear.
price for him.
It's still
Rob a bank.
technically rude now, but
No.
you know, with Instagram and everything, it's
I think.
kind of anything goes,
Come on. We got a bit
as
of
the
a
old Cole Porter song
run.
said.
Micah?
I
To
think
quote
so.
Cole Porter.
I heard of someone sounded like him about a year back.
Okay.
We always said if we found him,
I know what we said we'd do. That ain't changed.
I didn't think I'd see any of you again after you left for the Yukon.
Yeah, we came back. Didn't strike it rich, as you can see.
But you're a rancher now.
I got Uncle with me. We'll be okay.
Uncle. Getting scalped by that
Sadie's on
gang
Hera.
out there might be preferable than living with him.
Sometimes I think the same.
The biggest Mustang I've ever seen. Christian says, Super Antonio, do you think Mary used Arthur just for help with her family? No, I think she... Well, let's see. How do I answer that question? I think from personal experience, every attractive female I've ever known has always had a sketchy guy in their back pocket that they use for situations that may be extra legal. So yeah, I suppose in a sense she did use him, but I also think that he was the right man for the job. And if you just know a bunch of fancy gentlemen in Saint Denis, you need someone who can hold their own. Miles says, Hortus says, let's see, where are we? Hortus says, I think the longer look is appropriate when embracing... Oh, no, I said that already. I agree with you, Hortus. Mike continues, sometimes I like to give Arthur a fade and a short stubble, and other times mid-length hair with a mustache. Yeah, that fade, I believe, is not period correct. Miles says, depends on my mood. Yeah, you know, it looks good from a modern standpoint. Marco says, I never liked Mary, honestly. I believe she liked Arthur, but she used him too. And David is here. Happy Super Bowl
Up for a fight?
Sunday, David. Greetings, friend.
Oh, it's very
David says,
legal.
say hey, Marco.
Also
And
pretty
Marco says, hey,
dangerous.
David, glad you are
You,
here.
it'll be fine, but I
Top
would
Hat
be
Play
right
says,
home.
true, Super Antonio.
All right then.
And
Come on.
David says, glad you are here to Marco. We missed you. Hortus says, the only look I will never use on Arthur or John is clean shaven.
Get a crew to help with that barn.
Yeah, same or bald.
With the Del Lobo guy.
Lobos?
Yeah. You head back down to where
There were
we
bald
was, New Austin. You're
men in
bound to
1899. I believe Cooper is bald. It was more of a strongman look. Micah says, early stream today. Greetings, Micah. Yes, we are going to do
run Americans too.
10 a.m. PST streams for Marco.
Just like we were.
David. Sunday 10 a.m. streams for Marco because this is a very convenient time for him.
It's a bad situation down there. Burn-ins, killings, you name it.
David says, Hort.
Know something of that.
And Hortus says, howdy, pard.
Sheriff of Tumbleweed,
Happy Sunday, all.
he's making a heck
Technically, we are
there ain't much there. Hold that
commenting on every Sadie cutscene, but really we're just kind of hanging out, having a nice conversation,
get around.
talking about the Super Bowl, enjoying the morning.
Gang you was talking about?
Miles says, I don't mind normal clean shaven, but extra clean shaven is kind of ugly. Yeah, you need a little stubble.
Heard about him.
Got hold of this feller I'd hired.
You're shaven with a straight razor, which isn't like the,
John?
you're not going to get a close shave in 1899.
Slow was all.
Marco says, thank you for that, Super Antonio. Marco, you are a valuable and essential member of the channel, and I'm happy to accommodate you.
Unspeakable things. I hope that's the last you see of him.
Me too.
Also, I like
I mean to be
experimenting with times for these live streams.
You want to hear something? I built my ranch house.
Good for you.
And as long as we're doing a 100-day march,
No.
we might as well have a Sunday live stream.
Got ones. Me and Charles
Hortus says, I've used bald in low honor playthroughs.
watched and
Interesting.
the odd order at us.
Micah says, I actually don't mind extra clean shaven Arthur Morgan, but John, I prefer him with facial hair.
Marston's got
I prefer both of them with facial hair. Big mustaches.
It's good country.
It's just, I like the look.
despite all
That Sam Elliott.
Try not to fraternize too much with employees.
Marco says, I'll be on Sunday premieres for sure.
Oh, that's what I am now. An employee.
Look forward to it, friendo. Though I'm not sure what the theme will be. Probably won't be a theme. It's just going to be random chat. And I'll just put up an hour's worth of videos for us to comment on and look at. Hortus says, I'm actually just back to a level 2 buzz on my current run. That's pretty short. Christian says, do you think it suits Arthur with a medium to long beard? I have Arthur with a level 10 beard,
I think
which
so.
I
tried to kill me.
grew out for a video, and I think he just looks like a barbaric Viking.
Yeah, that's him.
But you know, it's like beards are very popular.
Get him to the sheriff.
It's up to you, really.
Come on, Ramon. Let's
Marco
go.
says, no worries, I'm good with whatever you choose.
Mr. Sheriff.
And Miles says, I've noticed in 1.0, Sadie, Uncle, and Charles all have their 1899 horses for some reason. I've never noticed that, but I've never played, well, I played the game all the way through, you know, in version 1 in 2018, but I haven't played version 1 all the way through, you know, in subsequent playthroughs, so I never noticed. Interesting. Miles Powell. Horta says, I don't really bother using hair tonics. I play enough that it will grow back eventually.
Okay, if you think so, mister.
Oh, I know so, Ramon.
Yeah, I don't care about hair tonics.
Take a seat. Help me guard him till my boys
I only
arrive
used
and
them
get 'em out.
Sure.
to get to Arthur to a level 10 beard because I wanted to see what he looks like. Also, Arthur with a level 10 beard and a Viking helm and the Viking helm,
You did a good job.
that is a fine look. That is a fine berserker mode look. Hortus says, I do wish we had some more styling options for beards at varying lengths. I believe you do online again, Hortus. That's another incentive that Rockstar dangles in front of you to get you online.
Oh, Sheriff Thomas, Sheriff Thomas! We want our friend back. You have about 10 seconds, Sheriff Thomas, before we kill all of you fools. 1. Don't be a
Interesting, the Del Lobos this far north.
3. Let 'em have
It's a
it,
preview of what you can expect in New Austin if you haven't played the game.
What was it? Come on!
Jail! The jail!
Micah asks, just kind of curious how many foreign languages have you heard in Red Dead 2 throughout the story?
Well, we brought him in.
I'll have to think about that. Christian says, Super Antonio, should John have been given more story missions? No. John has plenty of story missions. John has an entire game.
Are you threatening me? Why would we bother?
Miles says, I also noticed John's range gloves on his cowboy outfit are a lot larger on current version and look smaller in 1.0. Very observant, Miles. So, languages. You have German, Chinese, Mandarin, I suppose, Spanish,
Mount up.
English. So maybe 4. Polish.
Where are we gonna find
Herr Robel from Upper Silesia. That's 5.
Looking there.
Sure.
That's all I can think of right now.
Bad luck with
Oh, the Norwegian,
And you're about to
the
have some
Norwegians
bad luck
up
with
in
getting punched in the face.
up in Manzanita Post. That's 6. I'm at 6. What do you think, chat? Can you think of any others?
They must be camping down there.
Miles says, no, we got that.
Probably waiting for a boat.
Nahayan Amin, greetings friend, says, what is the best horse in the game, especially in the online version? Well, I can't comment on online versions, but I prefer the Silver Dapple Pinto Missouri Foxtrotter.
but it's
I
okay.
believe that is the best horse. Also the piebald Tobiano Hungarian half-bred. Welcome, Nayan. Happy Sunday.
I'm gonna go.
Oh,
You sure about
and
this?
Micah says, don't forget Italian, Angelo Bronte and his men. So that's 7. Interesting. Hortus says native language.
And shoot well.
We don't really see, do we hear, Hortus, like Eagle Flies or Rains Falls speaking in like their Native American tribal language? I don't believe so. Miles says, heard some people speaking Cantonese in Saint Denis. Yes, we covered Cantonese or Mandarin. Marco says, piebald for me.
Oh, you gave me a long time ago.
So 7 or 8, perhaps?
Hey, look out. There's more.
Micah says, you briefly hear Lakota.
Shut your gut.
Okay, 9. Also, speaking of languages,
We got it.
Adler is German for eagle, and Sadie is short for Sarah, which is Hebrew for princess. So her name basically means Princess Eagle. Interesting with Eagle Flies. 2 is a coincidence, 3 is enemy action, to quote Ian Fleming.
Plus $75.
Exactly.
But I can't think of a third eagle reference in the game, so help me out, chat.
Shut up.
If there's another eagle reference. I do believe also there's Irene Adler, Sherlock Holmes's one true love and intellectual equal.
Money for old
Sherlock Holmes exists within this time period. I mean, his stories are set canonically in the Victorian age, 1899-ish. So,
So you happy?
I think so.
I'm not sure if that's significant or not,
Did good?
but it's interesting.
Good.
So,
Micah says, when did you hear Polish in this game? I didn't even know how Polish sounds. Herr Robel, in chapter 2, from Painted Sky. If you don't skip that scene, you get a lot of Polish, where Arthur tries to speak to him and get the money.
Well, how'd you know she was...
I'm sorry. I
You
thought
look
I...
well.
He also has a dapple gray Hungarian half-bred that you can steal.
Come on. But tell me about you, darling. All armed to the teeth like that.
Maybe I'll make a video.
I'm Abigail. I'm a bounty hunter.
I'm going to make a note of it.
Bodyguard. I protect the gold prospectors up in the hills. I'm thinking of starting my own transportation business. I was thinking maybe if John
Every
wanted to earn some money.
language,
My husband, he ain't looking for that kind of work.
took on a lot
RDR2.
of debt when we bought this place.
And you're working for her?
Every language heard in the game in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Said no more of that.
No, you said that. What else am I gonna do?
Horta says, I think many assume he's speaking German the whole time. He switches to German, Hort, when Arthur mentions Herr Strauss.
Don't you put those stupid ideas in the boy's head. He's gonna do something better than this.
Like what? Writing silly stories?
I'm sorry, Abigail. Really, I am. I just...
And then for German, I like the German family that he
How many
rescues
times do
during
I
a
gotta
simple
bury
kindness
you, John
with the
Marston?
son who reminds me of Augustus Gloop.
You ain't never burying me.
Marco says, unpopular opinion, I never liked Abigail in the epilogue. I think she has unrealistic expectations from John, and she really treats him bad. Yes, I agree. Abigail
Bounty
kind of
hunters
acts like
want the
Skylar
goddamn
from Breaking Bad
vodka?
in during the
heard it's
epilogue.
country.
It's very annoying.
Some
Very
fellas
annoying.
just like
Hortus
it.
says,
Killed
yeah,
the
I know.
boys,
Aha, a
borrowed
German.
girl who
Yes.
escaped.
Leave Micah alone.
Listen, I'm sorry, Abigail. I came by because I was riding by chasing a fella, and I thought John wanted to earn some extra money.
Yeah. I was
What is
thinking about Breaking Bad and Dexter because
Some
who
fella
mentioned
out of his business.
Suicide Squad
Keratin
killed
or
the
something,
Justice League
came down
last
from
night?
Road.
Was that you, Hort? Are you playing Sissa
does it pay?
Jill?
It pays good.
I love that acronym, by the way.
Soft ones usually
But
do.
I'm really
Okay then.
strongly disliking this current trend
No.
in modern popular culture
Just you bring
and
him back to me.
video games
You hear?
Of
to
course.
take good characters and turn them bad, and bad characters and turn them good or sympathetic.
That our fella?
It's really annoying to me. Also, however, I believe that started
Or like a local
or,
farmer to make.
came to fruition with Breaking Bad, one of my favorite TV shows of all time, and Dexter, which was pretty good too. Dexter, as you recall, was about a serial killer who only killed bad guys, and Breaking Bad needs no explanation.
Monster still out there.
I came to the realization, and it just it amazed me
Come on.
when I was watching Breaking Bad that technically Hank is the good guy. And if this show were made 20 years before, it would have been told from Hank's perspective. And it's fun to watch it if you do like current replays. Just watch it from Hank's perspective. Because he's really the good guy. It's not Walter White. Even though we all root for Walter White, and I love that show.
Monster.
Thurwell!
Hortus says, yeah, Abigail's characterization in the game is inconsistent with Red Dead 1. Well, technically, she's barely in Red Dead 1, if you know what I mean. Spoiler alert. Christian says, people say after completing the epilogue it's very empty, but I like to roam around and will enjoy the beauty of Red Dead Redemption 2. I think it's empty. There's nothing to do. It's lonely in New Austin.
It's like Abigail
Marco says, agree with
says.
you, friendo. It doesn't make any sense. And he continues, that's all that matters, Christian. If it works for you, enjoy. Yeah, I have to agree. But that's one of the reasons why I stay in story mode is
Okay, hit you.
there's just more to do, and Arthur has more friends, and Arthur's alive, of course.
Here, put him down.
But really, again, as I say often,
Let you know if I hear anything about Micah.
Rockstar doesn't want you to linger post-epilogue and fool around with John in New Austin. They want you to go online and create your own character and spend your hard-earned cash with a monthly subscription and buy all the stuff they have on offer.
Away with you, you no-good parasite. You cook.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Christian says, and also never forget about Rufus the dog. Jesus Ariola says, salute, happy Sunday all. Salute to you, Jesus. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Welcome. Appreciate you being here, friend.
Sadie.
Charles, I found him. I found Micah.
No.
I got a lead. One of his boys wanted for murdering a woman. Been seen drinking in Strawberry.
Note, Sadie is wearing a leather hat, a lot like Arthur's gunslinger hat, newer, of course,
No.
with a red headband,
I will.
That's your
Black and
business.
red.
His business is here.
Yeah.
with her black and red
Yeah, all
theme,
right, with you.
her black duster and red vest.
I'm begging you.
And finally, she has enough
No.
ammo for this final
You risked
mission.
all this? For what? For Micah?
All this wouldn't exist if it weren't for Arthur, Sadie, and all the folks that
I
fell.
think this jacket
Don't
would
let
be
him
great
go.
for
This
Arthur's
place
Bad
is
Honor
more real
playthrough,
than
but I kind of don't want to use it
Jack's
because
Dragons.
John
I'm begging
is
you.
using it.
I'm
We'll
begging
try it
you
out with them, see how it looks with the
to
chaps.
understand. This is it.
It's a trapper
This is-
jacket. I forget how you make it.
Please.
I
try to-
believe goats were involved. The trapper really
Take
likes
another
working
choice.
with goats. What's that
Keep an eye
about?
on the place for me. Of course.
Please.
And then again, from Abigail's
Let's go kill this son of a
perspective, we
bitch
got this ranch. John is finally out of it. He's out of the game. Not really. Sadie's not really in this cutscene with Cleet, but I like it anyways. Miles says New Austin is so weird in Red Dead 2. All the graves in New Austin don't go past 1899. It's obvious Arthur was intended to free roam New Austin, but that was changed to unlock after the main story. Yeah, they changed a lot. They called a lot of audibles. Horta says, makes me laugh that Jack receives a couple of collateral damage roasts in the epilogue. Yeah, poor Jack.
We all ready? This pass will take us up into the
Jesus says, I am cooking potato soup right now. I don't believe I've ever had potato soup, Jesus, but I love potatoes in all of its forms, so I don't know why I wouldn't like potato soup. Don't worry, Sadie's wearing body armor. It just nicked her, but she's fine. She's fine. She just is bleeding a lot for the camera.
You all right?
It's a performance after all.
Too fine.
Come on.
You're bleeding pretty bad.
Ain't nothing.
You should sit down.
I'm
Yeah, maybe we'll
Dying.
I'll be fine.
we'll use this jacket for Arthur's Bad Honor look.
Sit. It's okay.
Arthur takes priority over Marston.
I hope not.
Micah says, I like the random encounters in New Austin.
Go get him. I'll be fine. I just need to rest.
I just don't believe we have enough random encounters,
Stay with her.
Charles, you worry about yourself.
especially after playing Red Dead 1. Thieves Landing in Red Dead 1 is a thriving community. It's bigger than Valentine, Thieves Landing in Red Dead 1. Hortus says, I wish that rather than a sawed-off blast, Charles had taken out Sadie's attacker with a tomahawk. That would have been pretty cool. Yeah,
Start walking.
but he made like a fist-sized hole in him, so, you know.
Just like old times. Oh, man.
We will take out Micah with an explosive round, just so you know. So he has a giant hole in his head.
Mrs. Adler? It's been quite a while.
Interesting, this game starts in the mountains, in the snow, and ends in the snow, but also as a nod or a throwback to Red Dead 1, we will finally catch up with Dutch. Spoiler alert! Up in the mountains. In the snow.
What are you doing here, Dutch?
Same as you.
Micah says you can encounter the same random encounter multiple times in Red Dead 1. Yes, I know, they're very repetitive.
We got dreams.
Hortus says, yeah, the random encounters in this game are actually all quite scripted, whereas Red Dead 1 actually had repeatable, dynamic encounters.
Do that, John.
Marco says, that sounds delicious, Jesus, with a smiley emoticon.
You shot at me, son.
I'm thinking I'm going to have pizza salad for lunch.
You betrayed me.
I could say the same as you.
I was trying to do my best. You just cared for yourself.
I'm feeling like pizza salad.
I think differently.
Plus I can feed her the crusts.
Join us, John.
Not all the crusts, just taste. I always like to give her a little taste of whatever I'm eating.
She ain't well.
I don't want to kill you, John.
Arthur saved my life. More than once.
Arthur's been dead a long time.
And regrettably, I have to leave you for a moment because someone needs to visit the balcony. Hold that thought. Talk amongst yourselves.
Things turned out the way they did. Dutch, killing me won't solve nothing.
Put down your gun, Marston.
Say something, Dutch. Say something.
I ain't got too much to say no more.
You shot me. You shot me pretty good.
Okay, and we're back. It is a live stream, and regrettably, sometimes Sadie needs to contribute her own stream to the live stream, if you know what I mean. No pun intended. Well, maybe a little pun. Very little.
Hope so.
Marco says, ha, all good. Jesus says, thanks, Marco.
Charles.
And Hortus says, when you corner Dutch on the mountain in Red Dead 1, he says, we gotta stop meeting like this.
I got a wedding I want to go to.
I love how they paid attention to Red Dead 1 with the sequel to Red Dead 2, which is actually a prequel. And it's very difficult for me to keep the timeline straight. And there's no way you can fit all of that gold and cash into 2 saddlebags. Marco says, no worries, she is forgiven. Well, in her mind, I'm just talking to her, but not looking at her. What's that about? Also, I don't know if you y'all are following me on Instagram. My Instagram is the superantonio. I know, Marco, that you are following me, and I appreciate it. And I mention it because the current story reel highlight video has
It's over, Abigail.
has over 65,000 views, and I'm going to make it go to 100,000. So if you want to follow me at the superantonio, that's where we are. And after we go to 1,000, after I get to 1,000 followers, I will continue with the regularly scheduled content on Instagram. On the Instagram. Marco says it's a magical saddlebag, 99 of everything. Hortus says, well, he put the rest in his bottomless Lord of the I'm saying Lord of the Rings, Legends of the East satchel. Yeah, I forgot about that, Hortus. much like Hermione's bag. Just dump it in there. Yeah, like a trunk full of gold. How did they transport it up there? And why didn't, you know, it's like, who was guarding it? Dutch and Micah were guarding it. She had all those minions that obviously knew that they had a trunk full of gold and cash up there. Hortus says, "Are you making money on your Insta?" Hortus, well, no, you can, it's like you can, like, do their version of super chats, but I haven't gotten any. I don't believe. But, this one video is going viral. It's over 65,000. So I wanted to get to 100K. And I've gotten, like, over 100 subs from it. Or followers, not subs. So I believe we need to get to 1,000 before we can monetize. Well, I guess technically we're monetized if I can accept super chats. But we're not making money. But we might as well try. You know, we need as many revenue streams as possible. So I can buy a new light and a decent camera. And also, technically, we might be getting a PS5. At any rate, that's about all I have for you guys. I appreciate you being here. Super Antonio. Marco, I'm glad we figured out this time period. Hortus, always a pleasure speaking with you, old friend. Jesus, happy Sunday, and give my regards to your lovely mother, Lucia. Miles, glad you were here, friend. Everyone, David, enjoy enjoy your Super Bowl. Go 49ers. I wish you all of you the best. We shall return on Monday with Marston Mondays. Red Dead 1 playthrough continues. And everyone, have a great rest of